Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today we will discuss anatomy most important MCQs part 1a. Which bone forms the forehead? Option A, temporal bone. B, parietal bone. C, occipital bone. And option D, frontal bone. So the correct option is D, frontal bone. Explanation is, the frontal bone forms the interior part of the skull, including the forehead and the upper part of the eye socket. Which cranial nerve is responsible for the sense of smell? Option A, optic nerve. B, oculomotor nerve. C, olfactory nerve. And option D, trigeminal nerve. So the correct option is C, olfactory nerve. Explanation is, the olfactory nerve transmits sensory information related to the smell from the nasal cavity to the brain. Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update from our technologist. Which of the following is the longest bone in the human body? Option A, humerus. B, femur. C, tibia. And option D, fibula. So the correct option is B, femur. Explanation is, the femur is the longest and strongest bone in the human body, extending from the hip to the knee. The foramen magnum is a large opening located in the option A, frontal bone. B, temporal bone. C, occipital bone. And option D, sphenoid bone. So the correct option is C, occipital bone. Explanation is, the foramen magnum is the large opening in the occipital bone through which the spinal cord passes to connect to the brain. Option A. So this is very important MCQs. The main function of the cerebellum is option A, control emotions. B, regulate heart rate. C, coordinate muscle movement. And option D, interpret sensory input. So the correct option is C, coordinate muscle movement. Explanation is, the cerebellum helps maintain balance and posture and coordinates smooth, precise body movements. Which structure prevents food from entering to the respiratory tract during swallowing? Option A, larynx. B, epiglottis. C, pharynx. And option D, uvula. So the correct option is B, epiglottis. The epiglottis is a flap of cartilage that closes over the trachea when swallowing to prevent expiration of food. Which endocrine gland is in the neck and regulates metabolism? Option A, pituitary. B, adrenal. C, thyroid. And option D, pancreas. So the correct option is C, thyroid. The thyroid gland located in the neck produces hormone like thyroxine T4 that regulate metabolic rate. Which of the following bones is the part of the axial skeleton? Option A, femur. B, radius. C, sternum. And option D, scapula. So the correct option is C, sternum. The axial skeleton includes the skull, vertebral column, ribs and sternum. The other are part of the appendicular skeleton. The sciatic nerve is a branch of the which plexus? Option A, cervical plexus. B, brachial plexus. C, lumbar plexus. And option D, sacral plexus. So the correct option is D, sacral plexus. The sciatic nerve is the largest in the body originates from the sacral plexus and innervate to the lower limb? Which part of the gastrointestinal tract absorb most nutrients? Option A stomach, B duodenum, C jejunum, and option D ileum. So the correct option is C jejunum. The jejunum is the middle portion of the small intestine where most of the nutrient absorption occur. Which lobe of the brain is primarily responsible for vision? Option A frontal bone, B parietal bone, C temporal bone, and option D occipital bone. So the correct option is D occipital lobe. The occipital lobe, located at the back of the brain, is mainly responsible for processing visual information. The main function of the cerebellum is option A control emotions, B regulate heart rate, C coordinate muscle movement, and option D interpret sensory input. So the correct option is C coordinate muscle movement. Explanation is the cerebellum helps maintain balance, posture, and coordinates smooth, precise body movements. Which endocrine gland is in the neck and regulates metabolism? Option A pituitary, B adrenal, C thyroid, and option D pancreas. So the correct option is C thyroid. The thyroid gland, located in the neck, produces hormones like thyroxine that regulate metabolic rate. The sciatic nerve is a branch of which plexus? Option A cervical plexus, B brachial plexus, C lumbar plexus, and option D sacral plexus. So the correct option is D sacral plexus. The sciatic nerve is the largest in the body, originates from the sacral plexus and innervates to the lower limb. So this is very important MCQs. The hormone that stimulates red blood cells production is option A renin, B insulin, C erythropoietin, and option D aldosterone. So the correct option is C erythropoietin. Erythropoietin, produced primarily by the kidneys, stimulates the bone marrow to produce red blood cells in response to hypoxia. The hollow cavity within the diaphysis of long bone is called option A epiphysis, B medullary cavity, C osteon, and option D lacuna. So the correct option is B medullary cavity. So the medullary cavity is the central cavity of the bone shaft where bone marrow is stored. Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update from a technologist. Which of the following is not part of the brain stem? Option A pons, B medulla oblongata, C cerebellum, and option D midbrain. So the correct option is C cerebellum. Cerebellum is not part of the brain stem. The brain stem includes the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Which bone articulates with the acetabulum of the pelvis? Option A femur, B tibia, C humerus, and option D patella. So the correct option is A femur. Explanation is the head of the femur fits into the acetabulum, forming the hip joint. The structure and function unit of a muscle is option A sarcomere, option B myofibril, option C fascicle, and option D muscle fiber. So the correct option is A sarcomere. Explanation is the sarcomere is the smallest contractile unit of the muscle fiber composed of actin and myosin filaments that slide during contraction. So this is very important MCQs. The bone that forms the posterior part of the hard plate is the option A, maxilla, B, palatine, option C, mandible, and option D, vomer. So the correct option is B, palatine. So the palatine bone form the posterior portion of the hard plate, while the maxilla form the interior portion. Which part of the neuron receives incoming signals? Option A, axon, B, dendrites, C, axon hillock, and option D, node of Ranvier. So the correct option is B, dendrites. Explanation is dendrites are branched extension that receives signals from the other neurons and transmitted them toward the cell body. Which of the following bones is classified as irregular bone? Option A, femur, B, scapula, C, vertebra, and option D, rib. So the correct option is C, vertebra. Vertebrae are irregular bone due to their complex shape and structure. They do not fit into other cartilages categories like flat, long, or short bones. Which layer of the heart lines the inner chamber and valves? Option A, epicardium, B, myocardium, C, endocardium, and option D, pericardium. So the correct option is C, endocardium. The endocardium is the inner lining of the heart chamber and valves, providing a smooth surface for blood flow. The thick filament in a muscle sarcomere is primarily made of option A, actin, B, myosin, C, troponin, and option D, tropomyosin. So the correct option is B, myosin. The myosin form the thick filaments in sarcomeres and interacts with actin during muscle contraction. The opening through which the spinal cord passes is the option A, vertebral foramen, B, intervertebral disc, C, transverse process, and option D, spinous process. So the correct option is A, vertebral foramen. Each vertebra contains a vertebral foramen forming a continuous canal through which the spinal cord passes. Which cranial nerve is responsible for the sense of smell? Option A, optic nerve, B, olfactory nerve, C, facial nerve, and option D, trigeminal nerve. So the correct option is B, olfactory nerve. So the olfactory nerve is the first cranial nerve and is responsible for transmitting smell sensation from the nasal cavity to the brain. If you like this video, please सब्सक्राइब माई यूट्यूब चैनल। अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद है बराए मेहरबानी मेरे यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें। So this is very important MCQs. Which of the following arteries is the first branch of the aortic arc? Option A, left subclavian artery, B, right subclavian artery, C, brachiocephalic trunk, and option D, left common carotid artery. So the correct option is C, brachiocephalic trunk. Explanation is the brachiocephalic trunk is the first branch of the aortic arc and supplies blood to the right arm and head. Which of the following is a sesamoid bone? Option A, ulna, B, scapula, C, patella, and option D, tibia. So the correct option is C, patella. Explanation is the patella is a sesamoid bone embedded within tendon and functions to protect joints. The patella is the largest sesamoid bone in the human body. The tube that connects the middle ear to the pharynx is called option A, cochlea, B, Eustachian tube, option C, auditory canal, C, semicircular canal. So the correct option is B, Eustachian tube. So the explanation is the Eustachian tube equalizes air pressure between the middle ear and the pharynx. Thank you for watching my videos.